if you think like a reporter when you're writing your blog, your chances of getting published or recognized elsewhere are higher than if you just throw stuff on, you don't check your spelling, you don't check your facts, and then you become suspect.
Totally agree. I mean,
Absolutely.
so I'm on the James Beard Journalism Committee, and and we oversee the blog categories on this, and we don't judge ourselves generally, but we feed it out to the judges, and the feedback that I get from them, and this was the first year when it was really open to individual bloggers, and we got an insane amount of submissions. It was really exciting to me to see how many people submitted their blogs, and I get feedback from the judges, and they're saying they go to a site, things are misspelled, images are missing and stuff, and they would just, because there was so much to do, they immediately put that in the cast-off pile. They're thinking, well, you don't take enough care to make sure things are spelled okay. Why should I trust your opinion on things? You don't have the care of craftsmanship in this.
If I go to your blog and I see a photo that somebody else used and you don't credit it, we're done. Sorry. There are certain things that I expect, and being transparent about that sort of thing is important to me. But it's like anything else. I mean, if you were to write a press release and everything was misspelled, nobody would write about that product. I mean, it's kind of common sense, but it definitely has a tail to it.
Let's go in the back.
By the way, you're gonna get. I have a new word. When people come up after a panel, you get like ambushed. It's like panel bushed. Now that you're James Beard Journalism Award, yeah, you're gonna get. No amount of balsamic vinegar will keep them away.
There's oil in there too.
All right, in the brown jacket.
Hi, my name's Nick. I write TEChmunch.com, and I was wondering if any of you kind of touched on this on the last question, but if any of you have kind of like a pet peeve that will just instantly turn you off from a blogger and you will cross their name off your forever list.
Too much self-promotion.
Okay.
I mean that, seriously, like in your tweets, I heard somebody say once, 1 to 8 as your ratio of outright self-promotion versus stuff that you're linking to other people. So, I mean, that's one thing off the top of my head, but.
Yeah, being mean. I mean, if you're somebody who's just, again, nasty on Twitter, who's ripping people down and stuff like that, that is not going to go well for you.
Being a bully is not good in real life or online.
Yeah, as it happens, I left my tweet deck open last night and opened it up to a stream of really horrible, really personal things that a business had written about me, just saying really rotten things. And I was absolutely shocked. And so I put it out there like, hey, I don't understand what was going on here. And it ended up, I fired off a note to them. They're looking into the incident and stuff, and they apologized for it. But I was thinking, and this is a national business, I was thinking, I am never, ever, 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 ever going to do anything with you. But same thing goes with a blogger. If they're in the business of infighting, ripping up other blogs and stuff like that, there are a million other bloggers out there who are happy and positive, who are not going to be a pain in the ass to work with. So, yeah.
Accuracy, spelling, stuff like that. If you're making wild accusations about things, it's just. I think Jeff put it so perfectly. It's just not worth the risk, because it ultimately is a reflection on me.
It drives me crazy to say, have you seen my blog? Have you seen my blog? Yeah. Have you been to my blog?
Oh, you
see
didn't see
what was
that
on my
post?
blog?
I did that post. You didn't see
Yeah,
it?
you didn't see it?
Yeah.
I told you about it. Did you see it? Are you going to come? When are you going to come?
Oh, calling people out on Twitter, do not do that.
It's the equivalent of the 3-year-old. Mom. It's just.
No, but it's hard. Like, even there's so many blogs in Austin. I don't have time to read everybody's blog, and it makes me sad. I wish I had another. I wish I could do that. But as my time is being, I have less time at work than I have ever had to do this, because I'm having to write more stories than I have ever had to write, and so that means I have less time to go through my Google Reader. But that doesn't mean I don't care and don't want to see what you're doing. So if you do something exceptional, I don't mind getting emails if you are doing something really interesting and you really want to make sure that I saw it. I mean, Jody did this maple syrup thing a while back, which was really interesting, and I was glad to see that. So, Garrett, go for it.
They have a motivation that they want to kind of scratch their way to the top and be better bloggers and to get, notoriety. But you guys are sitting at the table. You guys are writing for the newspaper. So how do you guys keep the fire inside of you? How do you
There's no fire up here.
Do you ever wonder whether or not you're writing as good a posts now as you were when you were trying to become a big-time story writer? Because you guys maybe if you don't write something that's as good, you're probably not going to lose your job over it. Whereas a lot of bloggers, if they don't write something that's maybe as good, they're not going to get as much traction. So how do you guys continue to push the envelope of how good you could possibly be?
Because we
when
care
you've
about traffic too.
Already gotten to, I guess.
I mean, we monitor the traffic to our sites and want to see that go up. And also, I mean, our jobs are not guaranteed. I mean, the newspaper industry particularly is not in a good place. And so we're doing our best. I mean, in a way, we're trying to defend ourselves that they put out a budget for us to test the recipes or to cook them, and just that they pay our salaries in the first place, because they could very easily just put it all, get wire copy. I mean, that's my biggest fear.
We didn't have a food section. They took the food section away for 2 years. I got to write for the rest of the paper. I got to go online. I got to find other ways. I was going to say insecurity and rampant desperation was my motivation. I stay motivated by reading good writing and finding new ideas and taking inspiration from that. We were talking before lunch about just listening to the SEO presentation and sort of calibrating your compass. Say, okay, I'm doing that. I did that before, and going out and finding best practices that kind of, when you open up the blog and you read them, you're like, oh, that's sexy. I want to do that, and you get to where it's your voice and your style. But the more I see of everybody's content, the more I can kind of say, okay, I can kind of push myself in an uncomfortable place and see how I grow that way.
You guys challenge us to make us better. You do.
Yeah, I mean, we all have our sort of muses out there too. If I'm feeling, sort of frustrated, or even feel like, oh, I can rest on my laurels, I'll write, and do that. I look over at what Francis Lamb has done, or Pete Wells, or something like that, and like, why do you have to be so good? and then I don't sleep that night, and then I type and type and type and type. So, I mean, and also in that question, firing us, making us do better. We all have bosses too, who really always want us to do more and better and all that kind of stuff. And I think it all boils down to also, I love what I do. I am the luckiest person in the world to get to wake up and write about food. Who knew that would happen? And so I treasure it and I celebrate it. And I mean, the day I stop really caring about food is the day I stop caring, really.
That's a good note for us to end on. Thank you, guys.